Hello, good evening. Oh, I have a sore mouth tonight. But nevertheless, we'll carry on, as he said, regardless. I had two protruding bits of bone coming out of the gum on my top plate, and it was really driving me absolutely crazy. It was felt like it wasn't level. Anyway, after a number of injections, grinding away and chipping away and stitching away, ooh, it will hopefully be back to putting in my top and finally being able to maybe bite into a piece of cheese that I've been longing to do. But my thought this evening comes to the idea, I know we've talked about it on many occasions, and that is about communication. It just dawned on me this evening. Trying to get your Filipina to look after themselves, to maybe undertake a little bit of, how would you call it, preemptive strike when you're feeling a little bit down or you're feeling a bit off colour. In particular, if you have, in the case that I was talking about, lady here has a swelling on her face. It's caused, I believe, maybe by sunburn, or it could actually just be some form of a little infection. But to alleviate some of the problems, I've suggested that we hit it with a little bit of antihistamine to make sure that it's not something she's allergic to. And also, as there's a swelling there, to have some form of antibiotic. And I'm not suggesting for 1 minute I'm a doctor, but I'm trying to get your Filipina to go to a doctor and seek some professional help. It's like trying to stop a bull in a china shop from wrecking the place. Pretty near impossible. But in the course of events, it dawned on me how, when you're trying to explain something to somebody from another culture, another language, in another language that's not their own, it can be extremely frustrating for both when you try and explain that what you're trying to explain doesn't seem to be getting through. It doesn't matter how many times or how we present the argument or the discussion, the point of view, it just simply doesn't hit the point, it doesn't hit the mark. And even just trying to explain how, I'll give you an example. I'm sure many of you have got girlfriends, wives, companions who have been used to doing things their way. And you come along and, of course, you're a bit like two left feet. You haven't picked up yet quick enough the things that they require you to do to keep them happy. Might be like, can you put these up on the line? So you go and put them up on the line. That's what they said. Could you put them up on the line? So you put them up on the line. And then they go, no, this way. Now, I can see their point of view, but they don't accept your point of view. And it's not a case of we're always wrong. It's just simply, there's a Filipino way of doing things. And it's their way. And no amount of effort on your behalf will actually persuade them to do it a different way. I'm sure there's a number of guys that will make comments and say, oh, well, I showed my wife how to do this or how to do that, and she now does it this way. Let us know how you did, how you went then, how it continues. Great. But it doesn't always happen. That's what I mean. Let's not be too generalizing. But you're handed two options: to pick up a bin full of plastic bin full of freshly laundered clothes ready to be hung up or maybe folded, and a bunch of hangers. So what do? You start to pick up the heaviest one. No, no, no. You have to pick up the hangers. Oh, they go over there, behind the car. So off you go behind the car and you put them in what you believe to be a safe place for someone to find them again. Not noticing that in front of that, where you put them, is another little hanger with a whole load of hangers on there. And of course it doesn't dawn on you straight away because it's the first time you've done that. You have to be so observant because sure enough, they come along and say, no, 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 what are you doing? Wrong, wrong, they go there. So of course, you feel like a 5-year-old being told where to go and pick up your toys and put them away in your bedroom. But again, it's communication. When we come into somebody else's life, whether it's here in the Philippines or anywhere, we have to adapt. We have to try and pick up very quickly the mood of the place, the running routines, the regime of cleaning, the reality that once you're shown to open the curtains each morning, that's your job. If it isn't, or should I say you don't, then you'll soon be told, why haven't you opened the curtains, dearest? Put in your place again. Again, you sit down and you explain that maybe she needs to maybe give you a rundown on what is required, what is your duty, what is expected of you. Because if we use our own logic and our own observation, inevitably we're going to get it wrong. Because no matter what we do, like I said before, we're always wrong. I don't know really where there is a way to do it, except constant observation of what's going on. Some ladies are so clean and tidy and you think they live in an operating theatre. And some are quite lackadaisical and leave the dishes for others to do later and then complain because they haven't been done. But those that want to keep places clean, you've got clean and spotless. And if you find that your lady is one of those spotless ones, it's a big learning curve from lackadaisical to maybe cleaning up to spotless. Again, it's a case of observation, learning the right way to deal with all these things. And it's not going to happen overnight, as I said before. These are things that they're reluctant to actually sit down and say to you, this has got to be done this way or that. You just have to learn. And in a country where women often like to be the boss in the house, and they like to do what they believe to be their required duty. What they do is, sit down, dear, I'll bring you a meal. Sit down, would you like a coffee? Sit down, do that. So there's an element of us always saying, oh, wow, this is amazing. Yes, I'll sit down there. It's hard to take though, because you think, you're not my slave. You're not the person that runs after me every minute of the day. Yes, you are, they might say. Yes, you are. You're my husband or you're my boyfriend. It's my duty to care for you, to look after you. But of course also, They're quick to remind you when you're being a bit, what they consider, a bit lazy, maybe not helping as much. My goodness, not helping. When we do try and help, we're doing the wrong thing. Have you ever been there? I have, many times. And this is the thing, you're the one that opens the gate, the one that shuts the gate. Don't mind doing it. She's driving. And the point is, where do you really know when you've actually achieved her goal? And that is to be the perfect person around her, the one that is sharing the load, doing their bit, when in fact they lead by example and they don't really want you in the way helping them, and yet they complain that you're not helping them enough. Oh, is there a handbook out there somewhere? Somebody might give me one, send me one. Guys, you're welcome to living in the Philippines. It's a great place. You will be confronted with so many things that you never thought possible. But one thing you will have, plenty of sun, plenty of pretty women, and plenty of problems to solve. I hope you enjoyed watching. I've got to go and think a bit more. Good night.